everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my apartment in Paris. So quick little life update. It's been over a month and a half since I moved to Paris for my final year internship, and so I thought it would be fun to show you guys what my apartment looks like. So bear in mind, this is not going to be like Emily in Paris because I do not live in like an old Parisian apartment on the 6th floor, although I did when I was here 2 years ago for my previous internship. Should have done a video back then, but then again it was like 10 meters square, so the video would have been over in like 30 seconds. So this apartment is bigger and I live in the 11th arrondissement in Paris. It's about like 19 meters square, so I have my toilet, my bathroom and my kitchen inside the apartment. So that's actually kind of like one of the stereotypes of having an apartment in Paris. Of course, like in most of the cases, as a student especially, if you were to go for something that's budget friendly in Paris, you'd definitely or most probably find yourself in like those little apartments in the 6th or 7th floor in a really old Parisian building. I mean, I do find those really cute, like there's a charm to it, but at the same time, most of the time, your toilet is outside and you share it with like all the other people on the same floor. So this time, I wanted something bigger because I was thinking more long term, and also because it's just so much easier having people over when you have your bathroom inside and when you have more space. So I paid 950 euros. Yes, I know it's very expensive, but that's Paris, and that's like every other major city in the world, and that's not including electricity and Wi-Fi. So if you add up everything, it comes to about like 1,000 euros. But as a student in France, I'm very lucky because you have what's called the CAF, which is this government association that sort of helps you with subsidies when it comes to your rental. So in Paris, you can get up to 200 over euros worth of subsidies. So obviously, I took that into consideration. So I haven't gotten that yet, but when I do, I should be paying like 250 euros less. Okay, so we are at the entrance of my apartment. So I've just got my little clothes rack there for my coats. It's winter, it's still cold, so most of my heavy coats are out. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and as you can see, I've got quite a lot of space going on in Paris, and that's not bad. Over here, I've got a little dresser where I keep some foldable clothes inside, and I got these shoe cases from IKEA. Honestly, it's such an amazing thing because it doesn't take up a lot of space, and with 4 of these I can keep up to 8 to 10 pairs of shoes, so that's great. Over here, I just keep a few essentials that would be easy for me to grab when I head out. So for example, I got my favorite perfumes here, and then I also have like a few accessories that I put on every day. Like I literally always go out with this ring that my uncle got me, so they're all here. So here I just have like items that once again are easy for me to grab and go out, like a coin purse, sunglasses, playing cards. Voila. And then moving on, here I have this bookshelf. So I was looking for an apartment that was already furnished so that I wouldn't have to spend money on furniture, because they just see my rent. I do not have more money to spend on furniture. So basically, the dresser was here when I got here, this bookshelf was here, the bed was here, that little table was there, curtains, the cupboard, the table, the chair, that little table, that radiator, the heater radiator, and this chair was already here. So over here on my bookshelf, we got a few books, and this has got to be my favorite book. I'm just gonna show you guys what it's like inside. So this says, "We are gonna taste Italy." It's basically like it's something like a cookbook, but it goes into all sorts of details. You have recipes, you have your different types of pasta, your different types of olive oil, vinegar, and it's just so nice to look at, and especially because I love Italy so much, Italian food. Voila, this book is just very satisfying for the eye. So moving on, I've got my other books here, and I love candles, so got a few candles there. Haven't lit them up yet since I got here. And then over here, I just put some of my handbags and my cap, and I just got a few like miscellaneous items down there. And moving on to my bed. So I'm lucky enough to have a double bed this time. I've been in France for 6 years, almost 6 years now, right? And in that entire 6 years, I almost never had a double bed. Not that it's something that I need, because to be honest, I'm pretty much okay. I'm okay with having a single bed. But it's nice to have a double bed, especially when I have people over, when I have friends over. It's just so much easier. So voila, I have 2 big square pillows. Also guys, fun fact, in France, rectangular pillows aren't a thing. So when you go to IKEA and stuff, you only have pillows that are literally 1x1 in size. So this is actually a convertible couch, but I put it out as a bed permanently because that's the configuration that it was going to be in for me most of the time. And then over here, I've got a little bedside table. Once again, candles, some incense, and my plant. So my friend Nora actually got me this plant for my birthday last year, but I think it's dying, guys. I'm not a good plant mom. Please tell me how to take care of this plant. It's really not looking good. And my favorite part of this apartment is having like those Persian windows. So for me, lighting is extremely important, and it makes like the biggest difference in my day, in my mood, in how I feel. And that was one of the important criteria for me, having a luminous room, and of course having nice windows, because hey, I'm in Paris, I want to have that Paris experience, and having those windows is part of it. I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like outside. I don't really have much of a view because that's like that big wall there, but if you can see on top, you have a typical Parisian building. Let's open the window. So this is what it looks like downstairs. I live in the street, and voila. So I live in the 11th arrondissement, and it's known to be an area that's very happening, very lively. You have a lot of bars, restaurants, and just a lot of things to do, a lot of people moving around. But luckily, the street that I live in is sort of like blocked off on one end. So it's not like noisy or anything like that, which is great. Moving on, we've got my cupboard over there. So I stocked my luggage above. And the cupboard is not bad because I can hang some of my clothes, and it's got quite a lot of storage, so that's great. Also, honestly, after having to move like 5 or 6 times now, I've gotten rid of so many clothes, and I've made up my mind to buy good quality clothes that I will use and that are easy to pair up with whatever I've got, instead of just buying like, those one-time pieces that you'd wear for a party and that's it. Okay, so beside my cupboard, I got my table, and this is like my favorite area. I've got this lamp that has literally been with me since I first came here to France in 2017. And I also got this charger from Amazon that allows me to charge my AirPods, my watch, and my iPhone at the same time. And then over here, I just have a few photos that I've taken. Now, I love taking photos, and I love capturing particular moments that make me feel a certain way. So I decided to put up all of these photos in front of me because they always remind me of those feelings that I had in that moment of time. This one here is a postcard that I got from my first solo trip to Rome, and I even wrote myself a little letter at the back of it. This one is a photo that I took as well with the view of the Basilica at the Vatican City, and this one is the dome, and I remember just standing there going, wow, that looks amazing, it's so beautiful. And this is a ceiling in a gallery, if I'm not mistaken, in Rome as well. This one is in a museum in Paris. This is in the museum in Paris. This was when I was walking alone at night near the Louvre, and I just found the lights to be really pretty, and there were kids playing all around. this one as well, same thing. It was when I was strolling alone in the evening by myself and I saw this amazing sunset, so I had to capture that moment. This actually is from the view of my first apartment in Paris. I actually got to go on the roof and the sunrise and sunset always looks so beautiful, so I had to capture that moment. Okay, moving on. So I've got this table over here that I don't really know what to do with. It was already here when I got to the apartment. My fan is already out and ready because spring is approaching soon. And I don't know why, but I get hot very easily. Yes, I know I'm from Malaysia, supposed to be used to the tropical climate, but no, the heat here is like on another level. And also because, as you can see, there are no fans that are like built into the apartment, unlike what you find in Asia, in Malaysia. You always have homes with like ceiling fans. That's not a thing here in France. That thing is gonna keep me alive this spring/summer. And beside him, we have his complete opposite, the radiator. It's still winter, it still gets cold sometimes, so I have an electric radiator over here. And moving on, I have another one of my favorite corners of the room. It's where my piano is, and also my photo wall with a lot of memories that are very dear to me, with people who are very dear to me. The wall isn't complete yet. I still have a few photos to put up. Literally, the amount of stress that I had to go through just to move my piano in, because it was too big to take with me on the train. It was too big to just rent a normal car when I was moving. So shout out to my friend Gio who helped me move to Paris. For the second time, we had to go get a van in the middle of nowhere in this very, very scary looking parking area just to be able to move all of my boxes, my piano included, to Paris. So thank God for Gio, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know how I would have moved here all by myself. Let's go to the kitchen. So this piece is a lot smaller than that. And it's also a lot less lighted up because the light from the window don't really reach like the kitchen. So I got a fridge over here that's really noisy. I'm gonna stay silent and you guys are gonna be able to hear the fridge. Yep. So I got the fridge over here. I got a coffee machine that a very special person lent me, and thank God for that, because I wouldn't be able to survive without a coffee machine. Then I got my one of my favorite items in the kitchen, my nut jar. I love nuts and dried fruits. Look at that. It looks so good. So this is basically what I snack on when I'm hungry. Over here, I've just got some items, some cooking items. Some of them were already here before I got to the apartment. And I just added like my mug, my milk frother, my wine opener, and a few Tupperwares. And same thing for over here. I mean, of course, I gotta bring this baby with me wherever I go. It's been following me for the past 4 years now. Does the job. And then we have my microwave and my induction stove. So this is a microwave / grill that I got secondhand off Le Bon Coin. And on top of that, I have my little fruit bowl. It's obviously very little because everything is, it obviously doesn't fit. And I've got my muruku. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is like the equivalent of Indian chips but with spices in it, and it comes from Ipoh, which is a state in Malaysia. And my friend Joy got to go back for the holidays, and she asked me what I wanted from Malaysia, and literally that's the only thing I told her. Just get me muruku. That's the only thing I want from Malaysia. Like sometimes my mom asks me if I want anything else, you know, like spices or paste or stuff like that. I'm like, no, if you can't send me muruku, you don't have to send me anything. But I think the situation is pretty critical right now at Dhivenya's house because she only has this much of muruku left. Anyway, now funny story about this microwave. I had to chuck this along with me for 45 minutes. I don't know why. I thought it was a great idea to buy a second-hand microwave from someone living like all the way on the other side of Paris. Anyway, I bought the microwave and like the guy brought it downstairs, and this guy lives on the 6th floor without an elevator, right? So he goes up, brings me the microwave, he comes down and he's like, here, I got you a bag to help you carry it home. So I was like, okay, great. I lift the bag up. The bag starts tearing. And I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I think you're going to have to climb another 6 floors because I can't carry this microwave back home. So he goes upstairs, gets me another bag, and we load the microwave with the bag into the second bag. Moving that microwave, literally, I had 3 people help me along the way. So people always say that Parisians are not friendly, very rude. That's really not true because Parisians have been so nice to me, so friendly to me. If it wasn't for them, I don't know how I would have gotten that microwave over there. Because at one point, I was honestly just considering leaving it on the ground and just getting a new one nearer to me or delivered to my house because it was just so heavy and the bag kept tearing. Here we are now. I got a microwave. Moving on to my bathroom. So the bathroom is over here, right beside the door. Crap, I think the light's not working. Okay, gotta send a message to my landlord. But anyway, I have some good storage here, so that's great. Keep all of my makeup items there. Makeup stuff. And then I got my usual skincare items over here. Toothbrush and sponge to clean up whenever it gets wet. The toilet. And my shower area. It's really small, but it does the job. And what's important to me... Oh, I forgot to show you guys. Also, I have storage up there. So that's my apartment. I'm glad that I got to show it to you guys. Let me know what you think of it. Obviously, it's not perfect, but that's Paris. It's really hard to find a perfect apartment that will suit all of your criteria. And honestly, I'm very fussy and very picky when it comes to my apartment because that's my living space. So it's extremely important to me that I feel good in my living space, and I wouldn't mind spending a bit more to make sure of that. That's just how it is living in Paris. I feel like unless you have the budget for it, then you can find like the perfect apartment that's pretty new with an elevator, the toilets inside in a nice area that's not too far from the public transportation and whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy here. It's only been a month and a half, so I'm still getting used to the place. So if I could give you guys an advice for those of you who are looking for apartments in Paris, first of all, be careful when you use websites like Le Bon Coin or Pap or Technologie, because you have a lot of scammers. Basically, if someone asks you for money without visiting the apartment, without signing a contract, do not ever pay that person. It's very common, unfortunately, in Paris, so keep an eye on that. And the second thing is, if you're a student like me, try to go into like the whole apartment searching process with an open mind, because it is very hard to find something that will match all of your criteria. Like, I really struggled to find this apartment and it still didn't meet like all of my criteria. But that's Paris. You can't have it all unless you have the budget for it. Then that's great. But if you don't, then keep an open mind when you look for your apartment, and you will be able to find something that you will love. But anyway, this is my apartment and I'm so happy to be back in Paris and live in a different area. So still trying to get used to it. Let's see how I feel about this whole thing in the next 3 months. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have any questions about Paris, don't hesitate to drop them down and I might make a video out of that. See you in my next video. Ciao!